Hello, I'm Lisa, and this is part 2 of Square Dog. How far have I got? Oh, pretty far, pretty well. That's Square Dog inside out. You have to keep turning it inside out, I do anyway, to see where I am, to see whereabouts I am on the doing of it, because I've not got a pattern. My pattern is that's my pattern. And I haven't got the best spatial awareness. I'm not very good at the up and down, backwards and forwards, where it comes out. So each square I put on, I then have to turn it back inside out to go, yep, I'm sort of there, or no, I'm sort of not. Can you see, where are we? Look, it's happening. Just a bigger version of. I'm quite pleased with it. I'm pleased with it. I've put little ears on it, because my grandson's dog's got little ears. They'll be pulled off probably, but I was going to do a sloping tail, but let's not push things. So I'm halfway through. I've put that there as well to try and keep my hands, because I keep pulling it up here to do it. So I've put that there that's the X marks the spot. So I'm turning it inside out each time. It's taken a little bit more than I expected. Right, I've got that hole, so I'll keep fussing on that corner. It's going together quite well, isn't it messy, look, with all the stitching. It's not a problem, is it? Saying that again, isn't it? Not a problem. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is a problem. So I'm just trying to catch all the corners in. I doubt I'll finish it in this video. But the reason that I'm doing it, I did say that I'd wait until it was nearly done and then I could stuff it and do the big reveal, but that's not going to happen. I want to get on. Can you hear? If you can hear funny little sounds, that's Fester in a box beside me. Fester the cat grooming himself. The reason I'm doing it now is because I'm motoring away with this. I'm enjoying myself. I'll just snip that off. And Fester is settled. So it's an ideal time. It's not quite his lunchtime, so he's not going to ask for food. What should I put in there? I'm going to put that one in there. This is a mistake I made. I put it, you know, you put it back to back and turn it out. Well, I got myself right all confused and it looked ridiculous. So I've had to do an awful lot of unpicking with this. Doesn't matter. No race. I reckon that goes in there. We'll see. If it doesn't, I'll just unpick it. Trying to get it to match, you know. I don't see that's moved out already. I don't worry about points matching and what have you, but it's so tiny this that you need to try. Right, Fester. The reason we're taking advantage of him being quiet and still is he has had a morning. He was out for a bit longer. Normally we put him out the front door, and sort of 7 minutes later he's at the back door and vice versa. He just runs round, and sometimes he don't even move from the front door. Sometimes he just sits on the mat for half hour, and other times he sits outside the back door for half hour in sight of mummy. But he was gone for about 20 minutes and I was just beginning to go, ooh, hope he's all right. Where is he? Because I do worry about him constantly. Him being a house cat and having very little cat-like skills. When we first got him, because he'd never been out, he didn't know what a car was. He didn't know what a cat was. Dogs he was all right with, strangely. A dog would come by and he'd just go, sup. But he's learnt now when a car engine starts, you have to remove yourself from the vehicle. I still have to carry him about. Last night, when my daughter picked up my grandson, she said, here, swap over. I have him, you have the cat, because he was going under the car and he's a bit stupid. So I had to hold him until they'd gone. Then I put him down and he nearly bit me, but it's all right, he didn't. So he's all, you know, you've got to keep your eye on him. So anyway, he come through. I thought, excuse me, I thought, oh, there he is, outside the back door. Oh, look at him, he's playing with a leaf. How charming. That's about all he can do. Oh, he's found a little leaf. And then my head sort of straightened. Where's he found an autumn leaf that big from? Oh, well, maybe he's found it and carried it here. Then I looked, I thought, oh no, it's a little animal. What is it? A frog? What is it? Oh, it's a mouse. He's got a mouse. And he held it in his mouth, looked through the window. It was like, Mummy. Oh, now you decide I'm your mother. Yeah. But you got to say good boy and proud of you. So I'm like, he ain't coming in first. He ain't coming. Because not only would I have the mouse in here, I'd have him angry if I took the mouse off him. And then he'd get bitey with me. So I'd have him attacking me on one part and a mouse running around on the other. It's pretty obvious the mouse was I have videoed it actually to show my husband. It's pretty obvious the mouse has gone. There, look. So I should turn it right way. That's to there. So I have to remember. I'm not very good at remembering things now. I have to remember that. No, I've forgotten again. Go back. It's that to that. It's that to that. And I have to fiddle on that seam. It's that to... Right. I did film it. I might post it on the shorts, but I don't know if that's disrespectful to the mouse. I'll think about it. So... he's showing me it. Mum, look, I got a mouse. Mum. He's picking it up in his mouth like, oh, and pouring it like a real cat. So, anyway, I held him. Husband come through and scooped the little mouse into a box. It was in its throes. It was in its throes. So, we've put it up in the shed in a box on some tissue paper with a little tissue paper blanket just to quietly pass without anything else attacking it. So there's no way I can't save it. No one can save it. It's gone. You just got to let it go. Because I have got form on saving things. I shouldn't. Or at least trying. A cat, years ago, was at a mouse out the front, and my husband took it out of its mouth. It was only a little tiny, well, he saw a cat playing with something, and he went and he took it out of its mouth and went, oh, at least hold this. So I held it. It was a little tiny mouse. So I held it and I went, oh. And within the 3 seconds of him saying, hold this, getting the cat out of the way, turned around, he said, give it here, I'll stamp on it. Oh, I was its mother. Hello, Oliver. He went, no. He said, no. He said, you are not bonding with that. Give it here, I'll stamp on it. It's gone, it's dead. Leave it alone. No. So there became the saga of the baby mouse that I had for, I think I had it about 10 days. Not that long. But, so there we go. Let me have him like that. I'm coming down. I'm doing this little front leggy bit there. Little front leggy bit. Little front leggy bit. Keep reminding myself where I am. What do I want? Show that red one. This is where I get confused and do it back to front. It's like that, isn't it? So then when it's opened out, there. So I got this blooming mouse, right, a couple of days old, that I've called Oliver. So I've looked up and look up how to feed it, how to keep it, how to survive it. Yeah. So it's is it every 2 hours, every 3 hours, something like that? I think it's every 3 hours. It's got to be. Say it was every 3 hours. It's got to be fed, right? Through the night. So I got a pipette and I got some kitten milk. And I'm pipetting milk into this baby mouse, right? Then you've got to toilet it. So you've got to rub its little places with a cotton bud. I was doing that when I rubbing its little rubbing its little places with a cotton bud. So it has a toilet. and then cleaning the little toilet up, and then settling it back down. Well, that whole process, feeding it and toileting it, it was like sort of half hour, that, you know, 3/4 of an hour. So it took a long time. It was quite a commitment through the night. So I'd be setting an alarm to get up to feed this blasted mouse, right? Which I kept in a little container beside me, beside the bed. Oh, my husband was not impressed. Even my daughter said, "You're dirty, you are." I could have licked it. I would have licked the mouse if I could have, right? I did give it a kissy a couple of times. Anyway, family was not impressed with that. Was not impressed at all. So he grew up. He got bigger. I kept him down my bra as well, wrapped in a tissue. Kept him down there to give him a little bit of warmth. After I'd sort of done his little... Anyway, you don't need to know details, but it got a bit... you know, we went a bit over, didn't we? So I have been banned from saving things. Because he did pass. When he started moving around, I got him to that stage. He started moving about his back legs. He was dragging his back legs, so it's pretty obvious that the cat had broke his spine. I hope he wasn't in any pain. But he was just moving around. His front legs were working, and his little head was big, and his little body, but his little back legs were like little stumpies, and he was dragging himself. And it was like, oh, we're right on the cusp of this ain't right. This isn't right, even if he does survive it. So we were beginning to sort of decide, do we take it to the vet to have it put down and all the rest of it? But he passed, bless his heart, in my hands, he passed. So that was Oliver, and I buried him in the garden, and I cried and cried. So I have been banned from trying to save things because I get so attached. So if he sees anything, he tries to whip it away from me quick before I can get it. But Fester has had the mouse. He's all calm. He did go outside and pounce on some tissues and that he found in the garden. He's very confused. He grabbed a garden ornament and bit that. He don't know what he's done, but something in him come out primeval. So anyway, he's nice and chilled out now in a box. He'll be there for about an hour or so we're cool. So that's why I'm doing this now, because he's chilled. So anyway, you'll see the sort of carcass bit, and I haven't seen what time it was. Oh, never mind. I'll say it was past, because I can't see the thingy, can I? Because I've got the elastic bands as usual around everything, so I can't see the timer. Anyway, there we go. Back door's open. It'll be a nice day. It's going to be nice down here in our part of the world. It's going to be nice next week. Going to be hot. Won't know what to do with ourselves. I do have some successes with animals. I've had a few dogs turn up at the doorstep. I had a Jack Russell once, so I returned that okay. I had that big Mastiff turned up. Just walked itself in. That got returned. I had a cockatiel once found me in where we lived before, and that was back before the internet. Phoned up the RSPCA and they went, "What do you want us to do about it? It'll be dead in the morning. The frost will get it." So we did what we could. Phoned as many. None of the rescue places were interested. Told us to inquire here, inquire there. So we just kept phoning all the numbers. We kept phoning, and then people told us to phone somewhere else. Eventually, we phoned the base. There was a military base, and it was somebody on there. He'd flown out the window. So he said, "Oh, I can't get there till tomorrow." I said, "Not a problem." And there's me. I got a plate with bird food. I ran and quickly got some bird food because we didn't feed the birds because we had a little indigenous animal problem. Rats. So we didn't feed the birds where we were. So I ran out and got, hang on, see, I get carried away, I don't know what I'm doing. Yep, we're doing the little leg, aren't we? So we need to put one in here. What should we put? What should we put? That one might be pretty. Then I got some bird food and I was holding it up on a plate to the tree going, birdie, birdie. And the bloke told me its name, I don't remember. Bloke told me its name, I was calling its name, and I was out there till midnight going, your daddy's coming, don't worry, darling, your daddy's coming. So in the end, my husband went, for Christ's sake, go to bed. So I went to bed, got up at 4 a.m. Your daddy's coming, don't worry, darling, your daddy's coming. I just kept, because he told me to keep talking to it, keep it in one place. So I did, just kept talking to this bloody bird. Anyway, he came and he just called its name, went, and it landed on his wrist, and he got in the car and went. That was lovely. That was a good news story. That was lovely. Bless his heart. That was a beautiful cockatiel. But like the odd bird and that, we've found, or distressed, and we contact the wildlife people and they go, yeah, just leave it where it is. Just leave it where it is. But the cats are getting it. Yeah, well, it's nature, isn't it? They don't seem that interested. It's not like on the telly where they come with nets and boxes and catch whatever. That's never happened to me. Every one we found it was injured, it had a broken wing. And we phoned up, again before the internet, we phoned up the place and they said, yeah, bring it round with a donation. All right. So they just took the box, took the donation, and I said, oh, will you let me know? No, we don't let people know. We don't keep records of things. I said, well, I'll ring you. You can if you like. So they took the donation, took the bird, and I phoned up the next day, and they went, yeah, we left it in the box. When we opened it up in the morning, it was dead. I said, well, and in the morning, you left it alone all day. Yeah, well, that's what happens. Thank you for the donation. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. So I'm a bit off rescue places. And then once we took them to the vet, we found a little unwell hedgehog. And we phoned up the local rescue place and they were full. Sorry, we can't take any more, we're full. So here's a number for another one. So we phoned that one up, full. Another one, phone that one up, full. Another one, phone that one up. We'll send it to the vet. So we phoned up the vet and the vet went, yeah, we'll take it. It'll cost you £40, but we'll then pass it on. We'll give it the care it needs and pass it on. So I thought, oh, well, we'll do that. So we took it to the vet and the vet looked at it and went, yes, we'll do the care it needs and we'll pass it on. Thank you very much. We phoned that up. Where's it gone? Oh, the hedgehog. Oh, yeah, we left it in the box overnight, and when we came in the morning, it was dead. So I paid £40. It just seems to be they leave them, and if they survive, they survive. So I'm afraid I've taken that stance now. I'll rescue something. Well, say rescue if it's being terribly, if it looks injured and it's being terribly, like Speckled Jim the other week. A pigeon. It was fluttering around on the floor, obviously in distress, outside the front. So we picked him up. I picked him up, put him in a box, put him in the shed, and I said, right, if he's still alive, we'll have a look. Do what they see how it goes. But in the morning, no, he his wing was broken. So we took him round to the marsh, round the back, and thought, well, we'll let nature take its course. Can't save it all. Tried to save. My son-in-law bought a magpie to me once that had fallen in. They worked at McDonald's, the pair of them, fallen in the grease vats outside. McDonald's are filthy, aren't they? But there's like these big vats of grease that get collected, and while the lid was open and someone was pouring in, this baby magpie had fallen in. And I said, darling, darling, nothing's going to happen. No one will take it. It's not going to. Well, I phoned round and no one would take it. I went, I know, they're not interested, darling. Well, can you save it? No, I can't save it. But we can give it a nice place to. Oh, please save it. So I went, oh, let's try and save it. So I gave it a wash. It took the wash quite well, actually. Sorry, I'm here again, and it took the wash quite well. He took it home, and I think he had it for a couple of weeks, feeding it like maggots and stuff, but then it just died the death. They sort of have like a shock response, don't they? Yeah, this don't work. He had a little shock response. I've had some good luck stories. I had a pigeon who crash landed. Everything crash lands on my house. I must have a big square crash here. I had a pigeon that crash landed in the garden. Proper racing pigeon, had the ring on and everything. Ooh, yeah, beautiful, beautiful bird. Not a rat, not like a sky rat, not what you see Waterloo Station. This pigeon was beautiful. Oh, a buzzy bee. And we phoned up, gave its ring. Look, you can see what I've done here. I've put it on in good faith, but what I've done is I've put it back to front. Do you see? So when it's turned round, I've put it on back to front. So that's got to be chipped out. Not a problem. I've done that about 427 times, so not an issue. Phoned up, give me its ring, and he went, yes, that's one of our racing pigeons. We know it's been, it's off course. There was a storm. He'd come from a long, right, get that right, I'm trying to get it right this time, so it goes that way. So that's got to tuck in, see, that's got to tuck in the little tail, like that. It's fiddle-faddle, this. He got knocked off course. We know where he's come from. He knows what he's doing, he knows his job, he's a very experienced racing pigeon. He will just reside with you until he's strong enough. Give him this food. So we ordered that food from the pet shop. Give him this water with so many grams of sugar in, so many grams, you know. Provide him with somewhere, provide him with somewhere to live, and he'll sort himself out. When he's ready, he'll leave. And I said, how long will that be? He said, he said, 2 to 6 weeks. 2 to 6 weeks? I said, the bloody thing's shitting everywhere. It's everywhere. I didn't have hens at the time. It's everywhere. I've put him in my little greenhouse. All of my seedlings are inside because of this bloody bird. Well, he said, that's what it takes. If you're going to rescue things, that's what I thought, oh, yeah, all right. So he had this bird, this massive racing pigeon, who looked down its beak at me. It knew I didn't know what it was doing. It would live in the little greenhouse, one of those little plastic covered ones. It'd live in the greenhouse overnight. I'd go down there in the morning. I'd sort of unravel and go, good morning. And he'd go, food? And I'd give him his food. And then he'd go away. So I'd leave. Then I'd come back. He'd finish my food, take it away, clean my bowl. And he'd hop out and he'd go, clean that. And I'd clean everywhere. He'd go, thank you. I'm going back in. And he'd just sit there all day in this little hut. I'd have to run down there and shade him if he was hot. I'd have to go, the work involved in this little pigeon. Anyway, one day, it was about 3 weeks later, one day it started walking round the garden with its head cocked to one side, just round and round in circles. It's gone mad. Round and round circles, round and round circles, round and round circles, like that. And then it just took off. Luckily, I was out in the garden, and it circled the house 3 times and shot off. Amazing. So he'd obviously gone, yep, know where I am, thank you very much. Oh, look, I made a bit of a mess there, haven't I thought it'd be nice to have a little rhinoceros on his bottom. I just looked out. I know where I am. I'll go home now. Incredible bird. Ferdinand, I called him. Beautiful, beautiful bird. So that was good. I did well with that. So I'm sort of using my finger as a, what do they call them? A ham, don't they? Tailoring shoulder, you know, when you've got those blocks to block things. Sort of using my finger like that. I did have another pigeon. Racing pigeon. Like I say, I got a target across the top of my house. Land here if in trouble. This was a couple of years ago. And we feed, because we had hens, so we fed the birds outside in the front garden, so it didn't attract excuse me, anything to the, not that any rats could get in the coop, because it was concreted bottom and everything, and we didn't have chicken wire. We had very strong galvanised stuff, because the dog that we rescued, one of the dogs we rescued, Aziz, the white Alsatian, she saw the chicken wire when we got done the pen, and she just looked at it like that with her head and just went crunch, just bit. She just bit the chicken wire like that and started pulling at the, oh good Lord. So we had to rethink that. She never hurt the hens, she just wanted to love them. So we had a coop, but we had the bird food outside, and this pigeon turned up with a ring, and I went, look, I said, we've got another racing pigeon. My husband went, no, don't get involved. You know, at last time, 6 blooming weeks, we've got enough going on in our life. We're busy people. And we got the cat. At the time, my last cat, Oscar, he was diabetic. He was only just diabetic, and I was having to inject him twice a day with insulin. So I had enough on me plate, you know, I had enough. I was doing enough. And he said, don't get involved, just leave it alone, let nature take its course. I said, well, no, it's not let nature take its course. I said, that's a racing pigeon. It ain't crash land, it ain't ill, look at it. Anyway, it was sort of eating the seed. He let someone else deal with it, don't have to be you every time, does it? And I thought, oh, well, he is right. He is right. And I did get myself in a paddy with, after I lost that mouse, after all what I went through, I even went to town with that bloody mouse and kept it in his carry case. And halfway through town, my alarm went off, and I had to sit privately and feed this blooming thing and toilet it and then shove it. Oh. So I know I go overboard with things. So he's only doing it to protect me, because he knew that broke my heart when that little mouse died. So he's always trying to stop me. He went, just shut the door, leave it alone, it'll fly away, it's fine, it's not your problem. Anyway, next day it's still there, isn't it? Oh, kind of is my problem, isn't it? Because it's on my doorstep. So then I went and bought like proper food for it and put it out. So it's like, oh, thank you very much, a little dish of water. He said, you feeding it? I went, no, I'm not feeding it. He said, if you feed it, it'll stay. Don't feed it, it'll fly away. Leave it alone. So 3 days later, the blooming thing's still there, right? Next morning, I opened the door and it sat on the doorstep. Hello. I opened the door and it walked in. It just walked in the house. I thought, oh, blimey. So I picked it up, went, come here. Come here. Oh, thank you very much. This is nice. Are you my new mum? No, I'm not your new mum. So I put it up, right, concentrate, that way. So I put it up the coop, I put the girls, luckily we had a split coop anyway. So I shut the connecting door. The girls only had, how many did I have at the time? I only had 3 at the time. 3, 4? 3 at the time. I had Flad, Josephine, Myrtle. So, plenty of room up the back. They had their coop. That's why they had to be up the back there, because their coop was there. They could go about their daily business, no bother at all. And everything was fine. Her husband come home. He went, "What's the coop? What's going on up there? Have you got a poorly hen?" No. He went, "Lisa, what have you done?" Went up there. Come back. He said, "You've got that blasted pigeon in there." I said, "It's not my fault. It was on the doorstep. If it's on the doorstep, I've tried to ignore it. If it's on the doorstep, it's my problem." Oh, he said, "You know what happened with the mouse? This won't end well. It's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you." No, it's well. It's a well animal. It's not ill. It's not going to die. Popped on the internet. Got its ring number and everything. Popped on the internet. This is sort of 20 years apart, the two pigeons. Oh, it's very much different now. They get back in contact with you. Yes, we have the identification of the pigeon. Are you happy to give your phone number? Yes, here's my phone number. Here's my phone number. They'll be contacting you shortly. Ooh. Anyway, bless his heart, he contacted me. He was up north. And he said, "What are you doing with that pigeon down there?" I said, "Oh, no, he's not supposed to be down there." He said he was let go. It was a young pigeon, and I think it was his second race. It's not supposed to be there. Oh, he said, "Do you want it?" And I went, "No." He went, "You can have it if you want it." Obviously, he'd sort of decided it was a dud. Oh, can you hear that? We've got a helicopter going over. As you know, we're on the flight path for the hospital. So they come over quite low. So he'd obviously decided it was a dud. And I thought, oh no, is he gonna get it back? He said, "Oh, right." He said, "We'll send someone to get it." He said, "It'll be about 4 days." He said, "But you can keep it if you want it." I said, No. And my husband went, "No, got enough on my plate. I can't have a racing pigeon. I just can't have a racing pigeon." So, we sent someone to get it, and I thought, oh no, poor little thing, he's just going to bonk it on the head because it hasn't done what it's supposed to do. And, so I worried, didn't I? I worried about it. But no, a couple of days later, he phoned up. He went, "Right, I know what's happened. It was mislabelled. Apparently they give them away to other people to sort the races out. So it goes to a courier that then takes it to France or wherever, and they all sort of go to a central hub, and then those get sent to France, those get sent to Wales, they get sent to there. So then sort of a third party drops the birds off. Of course, he's waiting at home. So a man comes and collects his birds from his house, takes it to the central point. They get their labels and they sent off. Then they fly. It's all very interesting. I think that's how it works. Anyway, he said, "It seems like my bird was mislabelled." It got sent miles away. It was only supposed to do a local race, and the poor darling was sent miles. He said, "No wonder he's confused. I don't know where he is." He said, "Oh," he said, "poor love. Yeah," he said, I'll rest it for a year. I'll rest it this season." He said, "And I'll try it again next season." Yeah, he said, it's done its best, but it's got completely confused because it's its second race. Funny, he said, "It should land at your house." And I felt like saying, "No, it ain't, mate. They all come here. Anyway, he said, "Got a bit of a problem with the pickup. Are you all right to keep it for a fortnight?" Oh, my husband, he went, "No, Liz, do not keep it." Because he said, "You'll get attached and you'll get sad when it goes, and it's another heartbreak, and you know what you're like." And I went, "Yes, I'm quite happy to keep it. Quite happy to keep it for 2 weeks. Not an issue." So I've got the cat I'm injecting, right, with insulin, but I'm dealing with that. That's fine. Got me normal day-to-day life. And is that in shot? Am I in shot? Shout. Am I just barely? Then I'm got the pigeon. Purdy, I called her. Got the pigeon. She was delightful. So I'd go up in the morning and I'd go, hello, darling, pick her up and kiss her. Poor thing, traumatised. I said, I'll put you there in the box, sort you out, clean you out, cleaned her out, cleaned her papers, cleaned her around. Oh, you are beautiful. And my girls at the time were going, stranger danger in the coop. And then I'd let my girls out. I'd put Purdy in the box and go, stay in the box. And she did. And then I'd open the door and go, quick, girls, through. And they'd run through the path, screaming, as they ran, because they knew it was somebody different. Especially Flad. Oh, my God. My little speckledy hen. She was beautiful, little bantam. She screamed. She'd pull her skirts up and she'd run screaming. So anyway, they'd have their out and then the whole thing would be performed again. I'd go back in. I'd go, Purdy, I'm going to put you in the box. Wait there so you don't escape. Girls, through you go. Through in. So that went on for 2 weeks. Luckily, I'd said my nice goodbyes to Purdy. I'd given her a kiss that morning and said how lovely it was that she'd stayed with me, getting upset. How lovely it was that she'd stayed with me, and if ever she crash lands again, if ever she gets lost again, she must always come here because I'll always look after her and love her, and next time I will keep you, and nobody can say I can't have you. If you come to me again, you're mine. I won't tell the man, I'll keep you forever. All right, she said, all right, new mum. She didn't, she looked terrified, right? Concentrate, where am I going? That to that. So when they said, is it right? When they said, we'll send someone to collect your hen, I thought it'd be a nice little couple, turn up in a camper van and put it in like a straw picnic camper. That's what I was imagining, right? Nice little couple, Ed and Martha, had a little jolly in the south coast, would come and pick the pigeon up. That's what I was expecting. No. A sign-written van turned up, exotic bird movers. What? That exists? It does. I looked them up on the internet. They move like flamingos and stuff and take them between... They take animals between zoos, like for breeding programs and that. Who'd guess that was a thing? I know it happens, but you don't, you know. And they do racing pigeons. Who knew? But I do now. Turned up in this sign-written van with a uniform. And like the company logo and everything, it was a proper like white glove service to pick up this. And I said, you're here for Purdy? And he went, I'm here for 605321. And I went, oh, she's had a lovely time. She's been out the back. And he just stared at me. He went, have you only got one bird for the race? I said, what race? He said, the race I'm picking up for. I said, oh, I'm not a bird. I don't. He said, are you not racing her? Why am I here? He'd just got go fetch, take it there. I said, no. I said, she landed in my garden and I've been looking after her. And they said that they'll come and pick up. But it's been about, 3 weeks I've had her. Because they couldn't get anyone. No, he said, we do it on a route collecting. He said, I assumed I was collecting her for a race and taking her. No, I said, you're taking her back to her owner. Well, he said, she'll go to a central hub. Oh, central hub business. She'll go to a central hub and then she'll be labelled. And then she'll be labelled and sent to her owner. And I went, oh, well, that's what happened before. I said, she got mislabelled. And he went, did she? I went, yeah, and she got sent. Yeah, he said, that happens. He said, we have thousands of birds coming in from all different places. Often they get mislabelled. Oh, I went, anyway. I said, she's been lovely. I said, it's been nice. Yeah, really. He weren't interested. I said, it's been nice. I said, but I speak fluent hen. I don't speak racing pigeon, so I don't think she knew what I was saying half the time. Oh, he just stopped dead and stared at me. Stared at me. He said, I've never had anyone say that before. He said, where is it? I said, it's up the coop. Right. Went up the coop, he opened the door, picked it up, shoved it in a tiny little shoebox like that, slapped a label on her, and went. And I'm like, and I'm going, bye-bye, Purdy, bye-bye, chasing this man out to the van. All I could hear, the pigeon going, thank Christ, somebody who knows what they're doing has got me. She looked happy. And I went, I said, do you think you'll let me know when she reaches home? And he went, no. And he went, oh, traumatised collecting man with a traumatised pigeon in the back. And that was it. So I phoned my husband up, tears, floods of tears. They just took Purdy. They just put her in a box, a little tiny, tiny box, and labelled her and took her, ripped her away from me. He said, I told you this would happen. It's that bloody mouse all over again. You do this to yourself every single time. I told you to close the door and just let it fly away. But no, he said, you had to get involved. He's right. I take it to heart. I still think of her every day. Stupid cow and I. Anyway, so that was Purdy. So when we had that wood pigeon out the front, Slim Jim, Speckled Jim, that's it, my Nicola. My sister-in-law named him Speckled Jim. When we had him, he just went, just put it in a box, leave it to die overnight. But we're not doing it. We're not taking care of it. Remember, because he knows it hurts my heart so much. Just remember, we're not getting involved. We're not getting involved. We're not having another Purdy. We're not getting involved. Yeah, I know he's right. I do get myself involved. Got too many papers here. I do get myself. Does anybody else do that? Does anyone else finds a little creature and thinks that they can look after it and tries? We try, don't we? But I think half the time we do more damage because we don't know what we're doing. So I think half the time we do more damage. It's best, like with that little mouse, I took one look and I thought, oh no, you are damaged, you are injured. I can't bring you round. You've been... There must have been something wrong with it for him to have caught it. Because he's not a mouser, let's face it. He's a descended from grand imperial champions. He's not a mouser. So there must have been... He's either found it... He's either found it unattended and thought, I'll have that. Something's kicked in. Or, is that back to back? Is that right? So he's either found it or there was something wrong with it anyway. So whatever, it's not a viable, is it? That happened to my little Oscar cat who he couldn't catch a cold. How on earth he survived? My Oscar, he was feral for 7 years. A lady used to feed him milk on the doorstep. Feral for 7 years. He couldn't catch it. I don't know how out of the bins. He must have ate out of the bins. Because he couldn't catch nothing. Once he was laying there. And this little mouse, like, that's Oscar. And this little mouse went boom. 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 And Oscar looked at me and went, caught it. Well done, darling. When I caught it, look, mummy, I caught it. I took it off him. I went, I'm so proud of you. The mouse weren't well. It weren't a well mouse. Oh, I caught that, he said. Hee hee hee. Right, we're coming to the bottom of the foot there. So I will try and... So what's going to happen with the bottom of the foot? Oh, we've got more on the bottom. Yeah, see that? On the bottom. Might leave that for stuffing then, the bottom, might I? It looks like I've put that whole thing in last. I might leave that bottom. That'd get to everywhere. I might need both bottom ones for stuffing the animal, and then I'll just put like a double patch on the bottom. That's what I think I'll do. That's what I think I'll do. So yes, I must be careful of what I take on, because that little baby mouse I took on, that was an ask. Every 3 hours, exhausted. Every 3 hours, feeding it with a pipette. And you've got to be so careful because you can't flood them, because if they breathe it in, it drowns their little lungs. Their little lungs don't develop properly. So it's a very, you sort of do the tiniest amount and let it lick it. You hold them tight like that. You hold them tight. And you put like a little bit of drop on your thumb and let it run to, and they sort of lick it off your thumb so that you don't get it up their nose and in their lungs. And then you've got to roll it over and massage its little place with a wet, a wet cotton bud. And then that allows it to produce a little bit of wee or a little bit of poo, and then you've got to clean that up. And then you've got to make sure he's warm again. So he's all warm. Oh, bless. It's like I went to the pet shop. I've had hamsters in the past. Love hamsters. I've had hamsters in the past, and they said, "Here, we got hamster. Do you want hamster?" And I went, no, I don't want no, I'm not in the market for a hamster. Well, we got one. It's got a urinary infection, and we thought of you. It's got medicine that you've got to pipette into it, and you've got to rub the infected part with. You've got to rub its genitalia with cream. Oh, I said, we thought of you. So I said, let me check with Jeff first before. So I come home and I went, I've got a mouse that's got a urinary. No. I've got a hamster. They went, no. He said, because you'll get overinvested and the bloody thing will die and you'll be sad. No. Got enough going. So Jeff is like the Jiminy Cricket. Do excuse my thumb. I know it's in a terrible state. He's like my Jiminy Cricket that sits on my shoulder, goes, nope. You can tell I think about that hamster a lot, can't you? I didn't even have it. Oh, could you imagine? Rubbing. Was it a hamster or a gerbil even? No, I think it was a hamster. Yes, I have form for medicating creatures. How's this going? Should we just turn it round this way and see how we're going? Should we do a slight reveal? So we've got where are we? Whoop. Pop that through so it looks more. There, look, see, it's got its little ears. Actually, his dog's got very big ears, but we'll put little ears on. Yeah, so we've only got that little bit to do, she says. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 squares. So I think we're there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 squares. We concur. That's very clever. Right, I've got to be a little bit skillful now because we don't want like to like. So we've got to make sure we don't just slap happy, put them on. We've got to go. See, I'm doing it in my brain without speaking about it. That's going to be, I know it's going to be on his little belly. It might be all right. Right, we're going to use that one on his little belly. This is where I start overthinking it. I had a rabbit. I've had a couple of rabbits. One was, I thought I'd say it, and then I think about it and go, oh yeah, Jeff's right. Phone Jeff up. It was a pet shop where I used to work, and they had this beautiful velvet rabbit, brown velvet coat to him. But they had it was a massive rabbit, and they had it in a cage this big, and he couldn't turn round or anything. And she said, yeah, we've got it from, they bought it off another pet shop. Was it? Let me think. No, we'd just moved in, hadn't we? We had just moved down here. And so it was a pet shop I wasn't familiar with. And I went in, oh, a beautiful rabbit. I said, it's a very small cage. Oh, it's a very small. Yeah, we've had it for a year and it hasn't sold, and it's grown that big. We had it as a baby and it hasn't sold, and it's still in the same cage. And I went, well, you've got to change the cage. You can't keep a rabbit in a cage. It can't turn round. There was kids I said, you can't, because it was beautiful. Oh my God, it was like velvet. It was the most it was velvet. It was the most beautiful feeling. Of course, everyone had been poking their fingers through the bars, stroking it. Yeah, it's very aggressive. She said, the pie man's coming for it next week. It's like, what? Yeah, the pie man, any animal we can't sell, the pie man has it. Eats it. Well, I've been vegetarian for years, not having that, am I? Not on my watch. She said, we've only kept it that long because it's so plush that the kids like sticking their fingers through and stroking it. And because it's so big now, it can't get away. Oh my God. So this poor creature was tortured by people poking at it. And they kept it in that tiny cage so it could be poked at. I said, can't do that. And she said, well, we're getting it to the pie man because it's starting biting people now. I said, I'll have it. I'm buying it. I paid for it there and then. I will come and pick it up at tonight. I'll come and pick it up tonight. So my husband come home and I said, can we go to the pet shop, please? He went, why are we? What? He said, does a cat need? I said, no. I said, I have bought a rabbit. You've done what? And I explained it to him. He went, oh, Jesus Christ. He said, it's going to be off its head. So we brought this thing home and we built it the biggest cage you've ever seen in your life, right? You couldn't lift it. Massive. And an outside pen. Oh, my God. This thing was cracked. Oh, he was so aggressive. I think Fester was aggressive. Jeez, this thing was off the scale. Anyway, we took it to the vet and we said, can you help? And he went, oh, he said, how was it kept? I said, it was in a cage. It was in a cage all of its life. And he went, yeah, it should have gone to the pie man. He said, that's cracked. He said, that's going to be vicious all its life. He said, it's been driven insane with its treatment. So no, I had the bloody thing 7 years, didn't I, of purgatory with it. I used to go in, throw a towel of it, grab it, throw it in the pen. Oh, my life. Anyway, so the pen, when we moved here, the pen as such, we penned it off, and it had a quarter of the garden to run in. It had a very good life. It had a very good life. But unfortunately, when we had our puppy, the puppy got in and chased it round, and I got in the pen, got the puppy. I mean, it only did like a circuit. Got it, put it in, and the next morning it had died. I mean, it was an old rabbit. It'd gone through. I'd had it set. It was at least 8 years old, because they said they'd had it a year. We'd had it 7 years. And Crompton, we called it. And it had died, but it died upside down with its legs open. And it's so my daughter, at the time, she went, "Can we go and see the dead? I want to see the dead." And I said, "No, it's died, it's died." Because I said very gently, "It's died, it's died." "Oh," she said, "can I go and see it?" I went, "No, darling, we don't. Mummy will deal with it. Mummy will deal with it." I was crying. "Mummy will deal with it. I want to see it. I want to see the dead." And I said, "Well," so we went up and we looked at it, and it was its legs. And she went, "Does everybody die like that?" I said, "No, that's just how Crompton has decided to die." She wasn't the slightest bit bothered. There was me sobbing, sobbing, sobbing. But then we had a neighbour whose mother died. And we took flowers, and Sophie went, "Can we go in? Can we see the dead?" I went, "No, like the rabbit. Can we see the dead?" I went, "You can't go in and view the dead. It's not our dead. It's we saw the rabbit." And I went, "Yeah, well, that was our dead. You can." And I thought, I had to think on the fly, and I went, "You're only allowed to view your own dead. You can't go and look at other people's." Yeah, that was a rescue story that went very well. We very rarely have Agnot, the first pup we had. We bought her. Oh, see, right, look, you're talking to me, and I've done it wrong. I've done it here, and it's supposed to be to that. It's because you're talking to me. Stop talking to me. There we go. Let me just nip. Undo it. I'll just sort of hold that with those two fingers and hold that with that and sort of push it. I've just headbutted the camera. Sort of push it like that. There we go. So how am I going to turn it inside out and do that? Am I going to snooker myself? Am I snookering myself, people? See, my brain can't work out. If I turn it inside out and connect it, my brain can't work out if I'll be able to take it back the other way again. I can't work that out. Right, so rather than get myself in I should have chose a better one, shouldn't I? Never mind. Rather than get myself in a tizzy, I should do a neat surface run. I think I might neat surface run all of these, because I'm going to get myself a little bit backwards and forwards. It's going to take the enjoyment out of it. I'm going to get upset. Oh, for God's sake, good, where people can see what you're doing. There's a point of filming it and then doing it where people can't see. Tutting at myself. But no, just this is quite a fun little project, isn't it? I think. It's a bit fiddle-faddle, but I think it's enjoyable fiddle-faddle. And you can make it as technically difficult as you want, really, I think. Like, I've stuck the ears in fairly unsuccessfully, but they're in. You could do something with the you could stop this being blocky, and you could neaten it up. You know, you could put a little angle on the foot. You could put like a little... You could from here, I think. I might do that. But I quite like the little pixelated squareness of them. It's sweet. See, look, that is going to show quite a bit. But it don't. What do I say? What do we say? It don't matter, does it? I'm not picking that. But it would have been better, in hindsight, to have had a patterned one there, because it wouldn't have shown. So that's for a little hindsight. We learn for next time, don't we, there? Little learning curve. Haven't done this for a while, so I would have learned that I would have known earlier on. Right, well, I think I'm going to love you and leave you. Oh, this is fiddly. This is fiddly, people. Don't do this unless you like being fiddly. What do we think? Are we nearly there? Right, that gives you a really good idea, I think, of how this is going to turn out. When I see you next, he will be done. Yes, that's his little belly. Yeah, that is a little bit. That's not very neat, is it? Do I take that out? Am I being... Anyway. So... Enjoy myself again, and I... That's lovely. I'm happy with that. Next time I see you, he'll be done. Cool. Bye then.